Existing as a single individual is considered to be the easiest thing in the world, and thus people must be coerced into becoming the universal. I can share neither that fear nor that opinion, and for the same reason. Anyone who has learned that to exist as a single individual is the most terrible of all will not be afraid to say that it is the greatest of all. But he must say this in such a way that his words do not become a pitfall for one who is confused, but instead help him into the universal, although his words could create a little room for greatness. Anyone who does not dare to mention such passages does not dare to mention Abraham either. Moreover, to think that existing as a single individual is easy enough contains a very dubious indirect concession with respect to oneself. For anyone who actually has any self-esteem and concern for his soul is convinced that the person who lives under his own surveillance alone, in a big, wide world, lives more stringently and retired than a maiden in her virgin's bower. It may well be that there are those who need coercion, who, if they were given free rein, would abandon themselves like unmanageable animals to selfish appetites. But a person will demonstrate that he does not belong to them precisely by showing that he knows how to speak in fear and trembling. And speak he must out of respect for greatness, so that it is not forgotten out of fear of harm, which certainly will not come if he speaks out of a knowledge of greatness, a knowledge of its terrors. And if one does not know the terrors, one does not know the greatness either. Let us consider in somewhat more detail the distress and anxiety in the paradox of faith. The tragic hero relinquishes himself in order to express the universal. The knight of faith relinquishes the universal in order to become the single individual. Soren Kierkegaard, Fear and Trembling, 1843. Hong Translation, 1983, page 75.